Hello, folks, and welcome to this webinar. I hope that you can hear me as well. For those of you who doesn't know me, I am Johannes Sundlo, and I'm a Swede, so this is 9 p.m. for a Swede. But hey, this is what I do. I do this on my spare time, hence why we're here as well. And today we're going to talk about and I'm going to keep looking at that way, I would say as well, because I have all my tools for this webinar on that side, and I have my prompt screen and the ChatGPT stuff here. So you see me flicking back and forth. But today we're going to talk about ChatGPT, and basically we're not going to talk about it. It's going to be me showing you how one could use ChatGPT if you're in HR, because one of the most sort of prevalent things that I hear when I talk to other HR people is that people have tried ChatGPT, but they have failed to really understand, okay, what can I do with it? Like, I don't know where to start. It's a blank canvas. What do I do with that blank canvas? What do I do with it? So I'm going to show you some examples. This is a limited sample, obviously, of all the examples that you can use. You can use it for so much more, but hey, we only have 30 to 45 minutes depending on how fast we are in this. So yeah, that's the whole intent of this. So this is not me going on in a long speech about the ins and outs of AI and the dangers or the potential sort of threats and risks and all mitigations that one could have around AI, or nor the possibilities either. It is just going to be me working in ChatGPT basically. So I hope that's what you're game for, because that's what you're getting. And as you can see, if you want to ask questions, you need to subscribe to the channel. That is because last time I did a webinar in English, I had some trolls coming into the comment section. So hence, that is a safety precaution that I took, that you need to subscribe to the channel. And I also do it on YouTube versus LinkedIn, because I perceive YouTube to have better moderation tools when it comes to comments and such. I will say one thing before we dive into ChatGPT and the prompts, that you should always use ChatGPT and all other generative AI tools with caution. That is very important to always emphasize, that don't share personal information with ChatGPT or any other tool for that matter. So that I'm not going to do that today, obviously, but always good to remind ourselves about that keeps sensitive information away from ChatGPT. I also have the prompts that I'm going to use. I sent them. It's prompts.fullstackhr.io. I can write it here as well. Prompts.fullstackhr.io. It will take you to basically the prompts. It's a Google page where you can just go and download stuff, I guess. So yeah, that is where you can find those. And I've said all I would like to say, I think. I think we just now dive into the actual screen share and ChatGPT. So here is ChatGPT, and as you can see, this is a totally new, sort of untouched ChatGPT. So I haven't done anything with this. This is the free model. Important to emphasize this, that this is the free model. So this is the model that everyone can use. You don't have to pay for anything that I'm showing you today, nor if you go to the prompts, you don't have to submit your email or anything. You can just download that. But obviously you need a ChatGPT account. I'm not going to go through that, how you actually create the ChatGPT thing, but now I'm just going to see one thing before I do that. I hope that this doesn't freeze up. Let me just go back to this screen for 1 second. I got a prompt saying you might run out of screen time. So I have a limitation for my screen time. I'm not going to do that today. App limits, remove that. Here we go. Okay, that's good. So we don't freeze up here. No, but what was it? I was saying that this is a free, sorry for the interruption. But this is the free version, and you can use it for free. And I've just like a chef, I prepared some prompts. So that's what we're going to do. So I prepared a lot of prompts, so we don't have to look at me typing basically. But yeah, without further ado, let's dive into the prompts. And here's the prompts that we will use. And we're going to start with this, and I'm going to copy paste that. And basically what that will say now is that I will give you a lot of text, including a career page and a job description. Wait to do anything with the text and information until I tell you. Have you understood the task? Do you need anything else from me? And this is before I do anything, because now we're going to start off with a recruitment example. And before I do that, and before I just, jump into recruitment, I want to preface ChatGPT as best as I can. Obviously, ChatGPT knows everything and nothing, right? It knows everything on the internet, basically. So I need to help it understand my context. So here I say the context here that I will feed you a lot of information before we do anything else. Just, consume this information. So that is the first thing I do. I preface it for a specific task, and I'll get into the task. But just let's run this first. ChatGPT understands the tasks at hand, and what I will do now, obviously, as it's recruitment tasks that I will put into ChatGPT later on, what I will do now is that I will send a lot of career information or culture information and information about a company into ChatGPT. And being a Swede, I've obviously chosen Volvo, not Volvo cars, Volvo groups. And I have also prepared this. So you see it's a lot of text here that I'm just copying and pasting. I won't read through all of this. You have to just take it for what it is. And I just, put it in there. Okay, that was too long, I would imagine, because I added more stuff. Let's make it a bit shorter then. The important part is that we have some text in there. Let's try that then. Here we go. And instantly it says okay, thank you for providing the text. And then I can put in the rest of the text here. We do that. We do that. Ta-da. So, and what we done now is that we took all of that text, and you can obviously do that yourself. I mean, I found this information online. It wasn't, proprietary information in any way, I hope. If it was, then Volvo Group, they have messed up somehow, because this is public information from their webpage, basically. But now, what ChatGPT knows now is that it knows that what I'm trying to achieve here is tied to Volvo specifically. It knows about Volvo because I've submitted information about Volvo. I've also submitted about, as you can see, we were going to talk about UX designers here. I've submitted information about UX designers, general UX information, designs, not Volvo specific. So that is what I sort of prefaced it. And now I can start working with my prompts in a better way. So by prefacing it and giving it information, obviously it might know all of this, but as we also know, ChatGPT only knows stuff up until September 2021, so it might be outdated. So once again, now I set the context for ChatGPT. Okay, so now I want you to create the job ad, because that is I think we all, or maybe not all, but many of us have tried to do that. So preface it now, that might be new, but the job ad here might be new for you, or you might have run that before. But as you can see here, it used the information above, write a detailed job description. I also always try to say how many words it should be, because if you say how many words it should be, it generally generates a better output in my experience. It's based in Gothenburg, user experience, blah, 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 a bit of information about the job, and also applications are made via LinkedIn. And let's see what it spits out. And this is what it generates. And obviously, I don't know if this is, spot on UX designer for Volvo or not. But obviously, as you can see, it utilizes the information I gave it, and you can't really see it because I didn't share all the information about Volvo Group. But I mean, it does a pretty good job at defining Volvo Group in a way that Volvo Group now themselves define it. So this is just a pro tip in regards to just prefacing it. Use that and then use the prompts that you're trying to use. So now we generated the job ad. What we can do more, obviously, because that is only one part of our recruitment process. We can also, for example, give us tips around, okay, where can I find these UX designers? Because even though you put out an ad, it's not necessary so that you get applications. So then you might need to go and look for them. So where can you do that? And I then specifically state, don't use LinkedIn, like use other inspiration, like give me more inspiration basically. And obviously, if you're a skilled recruiter, you might already know this, but it's also, sometimes you just get stuck in your ways of working. And if you need inspiration, I think that this is a fantastic tool to use to get new inspiration. And what I also asked it, if we scroll back here, I asked it in this prompt as well on how a good outreach would look to a UX designer. And what it spit out here is obviously then, okay, UX conferences. I could ask more about that. Where are those conferences? What is, the most highly attended UX conferences? Once again, remember, it's not connected to the internet, so it might be outdated data. But, you can dwell deeper on all of this if you're more interested and more curious around a particular subject that ChatGPT spits out. And then in the end, after that, it spitted out all of these sort of creative ways of reaching people. It also I would say, you can always argue, like, is this good or not? But once again, like, if you need inspiration, if you're stuck in your ways of working, if you're stuck in your outreaches, well, then this could be an alternative, right? The way you can actually utilize what ChatGPT does, and also see the highlights of joining Volvo Group, for example. It could give you new ideas, and that is how I like to use it, like an idea generator, not as a sort of defined truth, but for example, when I write and when I do YouTube videos, it's a great help for me to have someone to bounce back and forth with. And this is also how I think that we in HR can utilize it. So that is that. We now created, we've seen where people are, moving around within this area. We also have an outreach. Okay, so next then we hopefully find candidates, right? And what we need when we find candidates? Well, we need interview questions. And once again, based on the text I shared about Volvo Group, create a competency-based interview template for the role of a UX designer. So once again, I'm asking it to take Volvo into consideration, given culture, given what it knows about Volvo, given the text that I shared. And also I ask it to use the last science. I actually asked that twice to be really sure that it utilizes scientifically and competency-based interview questions. And as you can also see, I ask it to careful to ask questions without bias. So just define that as well, because once again, I perceive it to be responding in a better way if I do that. And here it goes. And as you can see, like, it's blazingly fast. This is not, this is live, so it's not me speeding up in any way. This is just, real live data. And once again, like, UX design is not my home turf, but from, from a fairly high level overview, it's not irrelevant, at least. I wouldn't be ashamed, I think, at least, if I asked these questions in an interview. Not saying that I would, but, it's, as a starting point, once again, inspiration for an HR person or for a recruiter. Fantastic to have this at your fingertips at all time. And if you're not satisfied, you don't need to sort of, okay, can we start over? Like, you can just say, like, you know what? Question 2, user research. I didn't really like that. Can we change that? Is there another way that we can capture the same intent that you're trying to get after? So it's not that you have to redo stuff over and over again. You can just ask it to, refine what you already have, which I think, once again, is fantastic. So now we have all these questions, right? And if I then want to ask more about, because this is very sort of, you see a culture fit, but I want to dwell really deep into the culture stuff as well. So if I want to know more about the person, how the person matches our culture, what objective questions do we ask to ensure this? And let's see what it comes out with. Once again, it's live. I don't know what they will answer. When I did a rehearsal, it went fantastically well, but you never know. And then it spits out stuff as well. And as you can see here, for example, so we, Volvo Group, encourage open and transparent communication, which is actually mentioned in the career document that I uploaded. Yeah, well, then you can see that it piggybacks once again on the information already provided and creates this. Okay, so let's say we've done this. So we've interviewed a person. They are a fantastic fit. Now, what we're curious to know more about is to hire them, and what do we need to, in order to hire them, we must pay them. So, how do we define a salary then? Could ChatGPT help us with defining a salary? And I should state before I run this prompt that once again, I'm reminding you that ChatGPT only knows stuff up until September 2021, which means that this could be outdated data, but I have a workaround for that. So I'll show you that, but we'll try ChatGPT first and see what ChatGPT comes up with. And as you can also see, what I like to do when if I do this and when I demo this, is that you used at least 3 sources to establish salary range and report where you get the data. So it sort of confirms to me that this is where I found the data as well. So I'm aware of that. And let's see, like this, it's always a hit and miss sometimes. Okay, so it found something at least. It's approximately 470,000 SEK per year, 440 SEK per year, Glassdoor pay scale. Oh, not that bad, I would say. Decent. But as you can say, they are approximate and yeah, could vary on the different factors. So and once again, it's not connected to the internet, so it doesn't have relevant data. It doesn't account for inflation, for example, even though sometimes it actually does. It says that I've accounted for inflation, which I don't really know how that works, but yeah. But let me show you another way, because what we also have is Bard. So Bard is Google's chatbot, basically, and Bard is connected to the internet. Bard is connected to the internet, and you can also ask Bard very sort of defining questions about where they found the information. And obviously, I haven't sort of preloaded Bard with the information. I will just, throw this at Bard to see how this works. It usually works, but obviously, if I want to really correct results, you should do the whole dance with including a lot of information. But I think for salaries specifically, you don't need to include all of that information. You can just, high level say this is what you need to take into account: location, years of experience. You could perhaps add a bit more, but yeah, let's see how it does. And it's a bit slower, one can think, but it actually outputs the results, instantly with like this, so it doesn't sort of write it like ChatGPT does. I don't know if that's good or bad. For me, ChatGPT is better because you see that something's happening. You obviously see this with ChatGPT, with Bard as well, but ChatGPT creates another feeling. But as you can see, this is what it outputs. It defines it finds 3 different sources for the salary. I can check here. The median is this. Pay scale is similar. It seems that. Around 50K. I mean, that seems to be somewhat of a median. And once again, I wouldn't never use this as a single source of truth, but to get an idea, okay, where's the market around this specific role? And a common question that I get is like, okay, but does it work with all roles? Yeah, as far as I've tested it, and I mean, I haven't gone through all roles that is, widely available on internet, so I can't say that with certainty, but all roles that I've tried, it has generated somewhat of a response, at least, that you can semi-use it at least. And Bard also has a very nifty little thing here. It's free as well. I should state that you need a Google account, but that is all you need. But they have a nifty little feature here that you can double check your response. So if you click this button, it's also searching on Google to confirm the results that it was giving you. And let's see, once again, it's live. I don't know. Okay. So this is yellow, which means that, it's not 100% certain about this. Oh, sometimes, but you can also click here. But you can see at Google search and find relevant content. So you need to further assess this. Okay, then I wouldn't take this for a given truth. And then it provides the links here as well, so you can search further. But I would say, so I've hired, back in the days, I've hired UX designers. I would say that it's fairly okay, actually. And yeah, I don't know if it's just it has a bad day or what, but usually it confirms this. So yeah, but once again, it's live. You never know what's happening. But you can, as I said, don't take it for a truth. Take it as an indication. Cool. We go back to ChatGPT. I should also state, like, if you find this useful, what you can really do to help. I mean, this is free. Like, I won't ask for your email. I won't ask for anything. Like, you can do, I mean, you can do 3 things to help me out on this. As sort of, if you like it, obviously, you can give a thumbs up. That is very easy. Like, you have the thumbs up button. If you like it, hit the thumbs up button. You can also share it with your friends, and you can subscribe. Those are the 3 things you can do to help this if you want to. It's not mandatory, but it would be really nice if you hit the like button at least. But let's jump back to ChatGPT, because we set the salary. We have a contract signed. You could use ChatGPT to create the contract as well, but you could also use then ChatGPT to create an onboarding plan for this person. So if we do this, we go back to this, we use the data you received about Volvo Group, create an onboarding plan for our new UX designer, and detail the first 2 weeks so there is clarity for the person starting what they should focus on, and build the onboarding program mainly over 6 months. So it's, define 2 weeks very thoroughly, but also make sure that you run it for the full 6 weeks. 6 months, sorry. And here we go. It outlines this as well. And yeah, it follows my instructions as well. Obviously, I know this is like, it's a bit quick and dirty, this, because you could delve so much deeper into an onboarding plan, for example. But as you can see, I mean, it's fairly good. Like, it's a good start. And obviously I could have done this myself. I know that, and we all know that if you're in HR, you've probably done onboarding plans a lot of times. But once again, you have this quick and easy way of just creating it instantly, which I think is marvelous that you can actually do in such an easy way. So yeah, fantastically well done by ChatGPT, I think, as a starting point at least. And then, if I also, because we all know we work with managers, and what we can also do then is create a checklist for the boss to use, so that the boss remembers all the steps, because that's something they sometimes forgets at least. And here we go. Here, what you should do as a manager, and he actually creates a checklist for the manager as well, which you can copy paste into a Word doc, for example, and then you're good to go, hopefully. I know I'm simplifying things a bit, because you need to review this to make sure that it actually matches what you're after as well. But just, if you've done a thorough job on your onboarding plan, if you set a very thorough onboarding prompt, and you worked back and forth with this, well, then the checklist would probably be quite okay. So hopefully then we have now UX designer starting, and hopefully you've got some inspiration to how you could use ChatGPT for basically your whole recruiting and onboarding flow as well. And as said, I know it's a bit simplified, but let it serve you as inspiration. And if you want, there's a ton of resources around prompts. So search for HR prompts. I've written a bunch. I've written both with HR, with recruitment, L&D. If you look back at fullstackhr.io, I've written 200 recruitment prompts that you can use. That's, once again, it's free. It's just copy paste. You do whatever you want with them. Use them as inspiration, guidance, whatever you want. It's free to use. So if you want to refine this, obviously you can work a lot with, really twisting and turning the prompts. So that was the recruitment and onboarding prompts. I'm looking at my section here to see if there's any questions. I don't see any questions. I think that's good. I don't know really, but yeah, I'll take it as it's good. And then we move over to, and we start a new chat, because what I want to do now is to work with as an HR. Like, I want to see the HR skills side of skills as well. Because so the last 2 weeks I've attended 2 conferences, HR Tech in Las Vegas and Unleash in Paris. And there's a lot of talk about AI, obviously. And the one thing that is sort of standing out to me is that there's a lot of talk. Okay, so within where AI will influence HR, and obviously a lot of people are talking about the things that we just went through, recruitment, onboarding, and stuff like that. But I'm also quite keen on that we utilize ChatGPT and generative AI tools for other stuff as well. So let's try it. And then I'm not going to do the whole sort of, prime it with a lot of information about the company this time. but I'm just gonna define it as an HR generalist, basically. So an HR Gen GPT, and that you're a world-class HR generalist, and you have deep knowledge about labor law, handling tricky situation, interpersonal skills, and success strategies for success. And you can read it. It's once again basically a prompt to define, okay, how would I want you, ChatGPT, to act? So let's run this, and I've stolen this from myself. This is from the first HR prompt thing I wrote back in May. And yes, you say, like, here, of course, happy to help. And then I do this. One of my employees needs to meet their goals. Can you guide me in creating a joint document for improvement? It is a document that will be shared with the employee. And once again, this is obviously not personal data. This is how me trying to elevate it one level, so it can be generic, and that you can fill out. I'll fill out the details later. So I want it generic. I don't want any personal details or personal sort of intertwines into this. And we run that, and then it jumps to a pip. Did I specify? I didn't specify I wanted a pip, but yeah, here we go. It immediately jumped to a pip. I guess I sort of primed it semi for that, but yeah. Oh, it did not do that when I tried it last time. It's always interesting. You never know what you get. It's like Forrest Gump. Life's like a box of chocolate. ChatGPT is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get. But as you can see, like, even though I could now ask it. I don't want it to be a pip. I want it to be more of an informal document. But still, I mean, I think it's still crazy. It marvels my mind that it creates this so instantly with very little information. It does a fairly decent job, in all honesty. Like, if you compare this to templates that I know about on internet, or that you all actually pay for as well, because there's it's a hey too, and I mean it's you pay a lot of money for templates like this, or at least you used to do. You paid a lot of money for templates like this, and now it's free. So that is obviously fantastic. And you can also do like this. So we have the pip. We go with the pip now, and you say, like, I'm nervous about this meeting with the employees and how they employee. Should be an S here, and how they will react. Do you have any tips on how I can best prepare for this meeting, or could you coach me before the meeting? Let's see. And then obviously it comes up with a plan or like guidance for that. And just as I said with the onboarding recruitment stuff as well, you could go back and forth here. Like, if you have any specific concerns with anything of this, or you want to, listen actively, like, okay, how do I do that? If I want to delve deeper in a certain topic, I can do that instantly here. And I really think that that's the benefit here, because it can train you. You can hone your own skills in a way that I think is just amazing, that you always have this help at hand that you can always turn to, obviously with security and safety in mind, but you can always turn to this chatbot and help you. So yeah, I think these are good notes. Like, this is, I mean, something that I at least do every now and then, help managers prepare for a meeting that might, that they might be concerned about. I've done that for 10 years or so, but it's fantastic. But we can actually take it one step further. We can do that like this. Can we do it as a role play, where I write the part and you answer with another, then I write, you answer, and so on. And what you can also do now is that you can do this in text if you want to, but if you pay for a ChatGPT, I know that I said I'm not going to delve into deeper into the pay thingy, but I say this just so you know, if you pay for it, you can actually do this in like a FaceTime call. You can call ChatGPT and you can have this dialogue sort of in real time. But now we do it in writing, because that is what that's what you can do in the free version. So it's interesting here, because it says, like, of course we can certainly conduct a role play. please go ahead and start with your part, and I'll respond accordingly. I'm not going to do that. I don't know the value of that. You see me role play this, but just as a sort of thought, as a thought for inspiration, you can actually role play with ChatGPT and train on whatever it is that you need training to. But once again, remember, the safety precautions. Don't share sensitive details and whatnot. And also, what I can do here is also, obviously, if I have a specific, I should probably say like this. Also, just before we do that, we don't do that now. New prompt, new problem. Just to say that, okay, we leave that behind. But otherwise, it will be perhaps a bit confused. So what we can do here as well is then if we have another problem, so it's a trust issue between a manager and employee, how can we improve their relationship to promote better communication and trust, and help me facilitate the meeting between them? What questions should I ask, and how should I set it up? And once again, I mean, I love my colleagues, and you can always turn to your colleagues, and I love my network as well. I'm turning to my network all the time, people I studied with or people that I've worked with in the past. But there's one thing that they have, their time is scarce. That's what they struggle with. Hence, if I need to turn to someone like immediately or instantly, then ChatGPT is a fantastic tool because, as you can see, this is what it spits out instantly again. Like, okay, this is the meeting, this is how you can do it, this is how you facilitate the meeting, and this is what you can do. And I mean, it's fairly okay, I would say, if you look at all of this. Is it like 100% exactly the way I would have done it, top of head? No, most likely not. But it's semi what I should do at least. And I think that, that mindset of ChatGPT not being sort of the answer to all your questions or the single source of truth, but as a starting point to elevate your mind or to get you inspired and to get you started, I think that is such a huge benefit of utilizing it this way. And as said, like, and I really, really, really want to emphasize this, like the beauty of it is that you can go back and forth. So you can really, like, if I want to now, okay, I want to know more, okay, about 5. How do we do number 5? What to think about? Then it specifies that even further. And obviously, I know this is a lot to take in, but I mean, you could really utilize this as training for yourself or as training for a manager, or whatever it might be. And I mean, I could just keep going around, delving deeper here as well. So that is the HR part of that as well. And once again, I've said this before in other webinars as well. The only limitation here is your imagination, more or less. Like, there's guardrails for sure about ChatGPT, and once again, security is always a top priority. You should never ever share sensitive information. But just keeping it at this high level and let it serve as inspiration, well, fantastic, right? It is fantastic. And to have that ability to, instantly have someone that you can bounce back and forth with. I love that. I love, I obviously use it a lot for writing and ideation in general. I also use it for my training, so it's not limited to HR, but I think for HR, for us to have this ability at our fingertips, once again, always thinking about sensitivity, obviously, but if we keep it at this high level and utilize it in this way, I think there's benefit for us to be had. So that is actually all I had today. I know this is it is truly like a working session, more or less, and I hope that you got value out of it. I know it's late if you're in Europe, but I really wanted to do this because I did it in Swedish, and the response from Sweden was overwhelmingly positive. So I thought, why not do it in English as well? And I would really like to do it as a webinar as well. And I obviously need to do this outside of work because this is this is my own personal time that I'm spending on this. So I hope you enjoyed it, and thank you so much for tuning in. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button, don't forget to hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe to Full Stack HR either if you're not already subscribed. And also subscribe to this YouTube channel. It's a lot of subscriptions, like, yeah, should subscribe everywhere. But but if you enjoyed this, if you found it valuable, give me a shout out and a like, and I'll be super happy. And I'll see you on the internet.